And hello, viewers. Welcome to today's lifestyle show. With me, your host, Catherine Ngovi. And this is my sign name. And today we have our guest. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a brief introduction of yourself?
Thank you very much. I'm Ruth Wairimu, and that is my sign name. Thank you.
We really appreciate taking your time and coming here to join us for the show. How do you feel working here at Science TV?
Thank you very much. I'm here at Science TV. I really feel great. I'm a news host, as a news reporter, and also a drama participant in Sign Out Loud. Yes.
Wow, that is really nice. Can you please tell us more about your? Can you tell us a brief story of your life of when you were young growing up?
When I was born in a village near Nakuru. It was a village. It wasn't a big town. It wasn't a town. I was born as a hearing child. Later, as a baby, 3 months, I became sick and I didn't know what happened. That is what my mama explained to me. At 3 months, at the age of 3, I became sick, and that's where I developed a complication and I lost my hearing. My family members, they were all scared. That time, they decided to take me to hospital. That is the only things that I remember, and that is the explanation that I got from my mom. She always carried me. I was a very sickling baby. I couldn't walk. It was really hard for me to catch up with a normal kid. Growing up was hard. My mom used to carry me and try to make me walk, and she didn't know what really happened. But I up to class 7, I went to a hearing school with other friends. I generated some communication skill, like lip reading, but I decided to drop that and joined a deaf high school. It was a Kikuyu language communication, but I learned how to catch them lip syncing, lip reading. I was the only deaf person in our area. There were no interpreters, there were no deaf schools around. So it was about Kiswahili and Kikuyu only. Then they used to alternate Kiswahili, English, Kikuyu, but I decided to learn, and that is how I grew up. It was challenging, but I didn't pass my exam really well. I was just below there because communication was a barrier. Up to class 7, I was in a hearing school. So my mom looked for another school. I thought they used to oppress me because I didn't want to go to another school because it was a faraway school. So my mom used to take me there. The teachers were expecting me to perform well, but I used to miss school because I wasn't really gelling with other students because of the communication. So mom used to come and meet with head teacher and discuss about Ruth because I was deaf and I was really stuck in communication. It was there in Nyandarua. Our school, when I entered a deaf school, deaf used to sign and I didn't know how to sign. I was just wondering what was that, because I'm used to other students talking and me trying to lip read. So they used to drag me and call me and try to to help me understand sign language. So that is where I knew how to learn in sign. I used to cry because it was a challenging from a hearing community now to a deaf school, and I didn't know the signs. It was just bad for me. I used to be alone, I used to stay alone, but it was all good. The students used to call me and help me to learn sign language. That's where I gained interpretation skills. They didn't ignore me. They taught me sign language, and that's where they decided to teach me sign language, and I caught up signs. Now I'm here. So this was in class 8, because up to class 7 I was in a hearing school. I didn't understand anything. Now me being in class 8 and I don't know signs, I had to repeat a lot of things so that I can learn and understand and really catch up with other students. In 2014 I was in class 8. That's where I finished, and then I went to Kedowa High School. That is where I did my Form 4.
That is actually a very good experience which you have shared with us. But I have another question. Can you please tell us? Well, some of you have said that the life at the village was quite challenging. So how did coming to Nairobi change your life for you?
I didn't hate the village. My father used to tell me, when you finish Form 4, you will go to Nairobi. So that is where it wasn't like a curse, but it was good. I finished Form 4 and I threw some things back home, and then I came to Nairobi. Yes. I came to Nairobi and I stayed with my sister. I was thinking of joining modeling, but in modeling there were no sign language. Now I wanted to come to town, and I met my uncle who was responsible with modeling team. I didn't know the town really well. Some deaf were there and other with disability group. Some were practicing how to model. I didn't know how to model, so I was just wondering, like, what are these people doing? So I rested and I stayed there. I just stayed there and I waited to get my benefit and then go home. So they forced me, but my uncle told me, "Are you not interested in modeling?" I said, no, I'm not really interested. And I saw other people who were very experienced in modeling, so he tried to force it on me, but I refused. I refused. They gave me a number so that I can follow people behind. So I just followed that. I just tagged along. I walked. I modeled with different styles. So my uncle asked, "What are you really interested in?" I said, my heart is not in modeling, so this is the last time that I'm doing this, and let me just go home and relax. Then another famous girl, who was the last one in the line, in the queue, they announced the winners from the children category, and I was asked, where am I included? So they said next time they'll call me, but I wasn't really interested in modeling. So previously I thought that I had an interest, but when I joined modeling, my interest wasn't really there. I stayed in Wangige with my sister, and my uncle came and greet me at my house at Wangige. And then I stayed with my uncle for a short time. Then I moved back to my sister's place because we were really in sync with my sister. So I only go and visit village, but just to greet my parents and just to know how they are doing. Now, when I went back to the village, my parent asked, "Why have you forgotten the village? Why have you forgotten us? Are you trying to punish us?" Because I mean, the village life is kind of hard. It's all about farming and all that. So I explained to my father that I participated in modeling competition, but so I explained that to him to just give an excuse not to stay in the village because village life is really difficult. So I wanted to explain that and then come back to Nairobi.
Wow, that is really interesting and wide. Previously, you had said that you really had seen an interest in modeling, and when you joined, it wasn't really there. How different was it, and why did you decide to drop it?
I dropped it. Modeling is really hard.
How hard? You actually have a nice body.
My
for
body is
model.
good, but someone laughing at me and someone laughing at how I'm walking, it's really difficult. So and I don't know how to twist my leg and really make those walks. So
But
I dropped it.
you shouldn't believe on what people say. You should actually, if you have the dream at heart, you're supposed to follow it up and hope that everything is going to be well in the future. So, like, my question: what color is your favorite color?
Any color really
But
complements
you
my skin.
have to have a favorite color.
I love yellow.
But why yellow?
Because my skin complexion, it really matches and complements my skin complexion.
Okay, I also love your hair. It's actually
Thank
really
you.
nice. Why did you choose such kind of a hairstyle?
Wanting this hairstyle, I wanted a brown color because of my skin color, because the entirety of it being black wasn't really complementing my skin color. It wasn't really a correct way to match my skin color.
So, how did you get information from other people, or what happened?
I've always applied lipstick. It has been my thing from when I was young. So that is a law that I'm following.
Okay, that is actually nice and broad. Allow us to take a short break, and we're going to be back to continue. Welcome back from that short break. Previously, we have been talking with Ruth about her upbringing and some of the challenges she actually faced in her life. And before we went for that break, I had asked you, you had actually talked about some of the challenge. Can you please tell us some of the challenges that you had actually experienced?
The challenges, I was really lucky. It was only the communication barrier, but I really picked up lip reading, and my voice is a little, but we used to communicate and understand each other with my family member. I know when I speak, they tell me to repeat so that they can get the gist of what I'm saying, but they understand my language. For my family members, they understand my language, and they know that deaf people communicate with hands, but they don't understand how we speak.
So when you said when you went to school, you actually had not even learned sign language.
Yes.
How was this for you?
So they taught me. They were very receptive. It was just a gradual, but it was very sure.
So how did it feel for you to learn sign language?
It was really hard. It was really hard because I was just coming out from a hearing community, making a sign and doing ABCD. It was really hard, but I caught up with it.
What about now? How do you feel?
Right now, I'm very comfortable. I'm not even worried about it. Now, that's why we can communicate.
So from your personal perspective, you've
Yes.
said
I stay with my sister and my brother. there at Kikuyu, but my mom is in Nakuru. But in Nakuru there is no deaf, but in Nairobi it is good. There is a lot of deaf church members. We have deaf church members. It feels comfortable sharing with them, and it makes reduce my stress.
Meaning, if you came to Nairobi and there are no deaf around, it will have been a hard interaction.
It could have been hard, very yes.
That's why you're staying around for the experience and interaction that you're getting.
In some other churches, whenever it was a Mzungu preaching, it was really hard for me to catch up. But for dancing and clapping hands, I just copy and follow.
So when you joined college, what course did you study? Or where did you even join?
I joined college in Italy in 2018. I learned about printing. If you have a passport, or probably printing a name behind your photo and making pictures for caps and whatever. So when Corona came about, our job flopped. That's when I came back. I joined Science TV. I didn't want to go back to village. I stayed with my sister, probably just helping in house chores and just communicating with my phone. Then 2021, I got lucky through my boss, who called me, and he told me there was an opportunity. I met him in town, and then so my sister used to ask me where I was going. I didn't want to lie to my sister, so my boss asked me to meet him in town, so I showed him the message, and that's when I met with my boss. In 2 weeks, there was a training for 2 weeks, so about lifestyle, life skills, and business training. That's when I got interested. I wanted to do hairdressing, so I wanted to learn hairdressing, but it wasn't really my passion. So I decided not to. It was a sponsorship program. They told me not to waste time and to be patient and just stay in hairdressing. But I dreamed to study hospitality. I was hoping probably I will learn and do catering in hospitality. I didn't know about Science TV. I didn't. It wasn't my dream to be here at Science TV. But the boss of that organization told me, you cannot be staying in the house. There is an opportunity at Science TV. And I came and I informed my sister. She allowed me to come internship at Science TV. So my sister was like, "Oh, we thank God, sister yangu amepata an opportunity." That is when I joined Science TV. Before I didn't know about Science TV, but when I joined, it was a good experience. I did an internship for 2 months, and then they told me to continue with the job and not stay at home. So that is where I've been up to now. That is my life, and it has been all good.
So when you are actually getting to these places and learning, how was your experience actually even learning of Science TV when you are going to all these places?
It wasn't really easy. I joined Science TV. First, it was about editing, and they used to force me to practice and read and have an introduction on how to introduce myself on TV. I used to be very skeptical and very afraid to stand in front of the camera, but as time went, I gained the experience. Now I'm comfortable, and lifing is continuing.
So that is so nice. I have a question. So when you informed your sister about joining Science TV, how did they take it? Because they previously know you were going to do hairdressing. How was their reaction to this?
My sister thought it was a waste of time me joining Isli, because as a family they were not expecting a deaf person to make it in life. My sister was happy. She encouraged me and she made me push and continue.
So when you had this discussion about Science TV, how was that?
Yes. I was never quiet. I informed my mom, and my mom, both of my parents, they really love me. When they heard I got a job, they were very happy, because in the village they were not very aware of a deaf person who works on a TV, so it was a proud moment for me.
Why were they so skeptical about them believing on your success?
But it's the situation in the village.
That seems it has never been easy. So how is your editing skills? That's what you said you were doing previously.
I did internship with Jeff for editing, but I forgot because I didn't really keep up with
How
that.
are you forgetting everything?
It was a long time. It was just for photo editing, but right now it went.
Meaning, when you were learning about printing passports and all other things, if I ask you to print for me a passport photo, you won't be able to do
I'm
it.
ready. I'm ready to print.
Okay, that is nice.
Photo and t-shirts.
So we see you saying that Ruth is actually so skilled in doing that job, or are we doubting it right now?
No.
Can you please advise our viewers on something maybe you will want to tell them? Give them a word of advice as we close the show.
I want to give my advice. Just learn from my life. You just have to try and keep on until you will achieve. Life is hard, but there is no limitation. You just have to do it slowly. Don't rush. Don't be in a rush. Just do it slowly, and then you'll achieve whatever you want. I thank God for getting something to do, because it is not really easy for a deaf person to be successful. So for an envelope, just put some 10% in an envelope and just pray to God and thank God for everything, for all these opportunities, and because in future we don't know what will happen, so just keep on thanking God and trusting in God.
Wow, that is so interesting, and I'm so happy, and I hope they have been encouraged by your word. That's all we had prepared here, our viewers. With my guest Ruth Wairimu, I hope you've learned from her life. I've had my interpreters Gideon and Kendi.